This video explores semen retention as a practice of self-discipline rather than a magical solution. While online forums often promote it as a shortcut to superhuman abilities, a balanced examination reveals a more nuanced reality. Rooted in ancient traditions but popularized in the modern wellness landscape, semen retention is the practice of deliberately avoiding ejaculation. Its recent surge in popularity, particularly on social media platforms, positions it as one of the most discussed men's health topics online, though much of this discussion is unfortunately riddled with misinformation. In recent years, semen retention has gained attention across online communities, spiritual circles, and self-improvement spaces. Many people describe it as a powerful practice capable of transforming one's life, increasing energy, sharpening focus, and deepening spiritual awareness. However, it is important to approach the subject with clarity and balance. Semen retention is not a magical shortcut to success or enlightenment. It is a discipline. Like any meaningful discipline, its value lies not in mystical promises, but in the habits, mindset, and self-control it cultivates over time. To understand semen retention properly, one must move beyond exaggerated claims and look at the deeper principle behind it: mastery over one's impulses. Human beings possess powerful biological drives, and the sexual drive is among the strongest. Throughout history, many spiritual traditions have taught that learning to regulate this energy, rather than being controlled by it, can strengthen character and promote inner growth. In this sense, semen retention becomes less about the physical act of abstaining and more about developing self-command. Discipline is the foundation of every great achievement. Athletes discipline their bodies through training. Musicians discipline their minds through practice. Scholars discipline their attention through study. In the same way, semen retention can be viewed as a discipline that trains a person's willpower. When someone consciously decides to control a powerful urge, they're exercising a mental muscle that becomes stronger with repetition. Over time, this self-control can extend beyond sexuality into other areas of life: work, health, relationships, and personal goals. One of the most immediate effects many people report when practicing retention is increased awareness of their habits. When sexual release is frequent and automatic, it can become a form of escapism or stress relief that masks deeper issues. By stepping away from that pattern, a person is forced to confront their thoughts, emotions, and routines more honestly. This process can feel uncomfortable at first, but it often leads to personal insight. People begin to ask themselves important questions. How do I spend my time? What triggers my impulses? What goals truly matter to me? This heightened awareness is where the discipline begins to show its real value. Rather than chasing quick pleasure, the practitioner learns to delay gratification. Delayed gratification has long been recognized by psychologists as a key predictor of long-term success. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiment demonstrated that children who could resist immediate rewards often achieved better outcomes later in life. While semen retention is different from that experiment, it involves a similar principle: choosing long-term purpose over short-term satisfaction. Another aspect of the discipline involves energy management. While the scientific understanding of sexual energy is still debated, there is no doubt that human motivation and attention are limited resources. When individuals constantly indulge in stimulation, especially in today's digital world filled with explicit content and instant gratification, they may feel mentally drained or distracted. By limiting these stimuli, some practitioners report feeling more focused and driven. However, it is important to emphasize that retention itself does not automatically create success. Simply avoiding ejaculation will not build a business, improve relationships, or develop skills. The discipline only becomes meaningful when the energy, time, and focus that were previously spent on indulgence are redirected toward constructive pursuits. Without that redirection, retention can become an empty exercise rather than a transformative practice. For example, someone practicing semen retention might choose to channel their increased focus into learning, fitness, creative work, or spiritual study. Instead of spending late nights consuming distracting content, they might read, exercise, meditate, or work toward personal goals. Over weeks and months, these small changes accumulate into significant growth. The key factor is not the retention alone, but the productive habits that accompany it. Historically, many cultures have recognized the importance of regulating sexual energy. Ancient yogic traditions spoke about conserving ajas, a subtle energy believed to support vitality and mental clarity. Certain monastic traditions practice celibacy as a means of dedicating themselves fully to spiritual pursuits. Even in modern psychology, self-control is considered one of the most valuable traits for personal development. Yet these traditions also emphasize balance. Discipline should not turn into repression or guilt. Healthy sexuality is a natural part of human life, and every individual must decide what approach aligns with their values and well-being. Semen retention is not a universal requirement for growth, nor is it a measure of moral superiority. It is simply one method some people use to cultivate focus and self-mastery. A common mistake in discussions about semen retention is treating it like a mystical secret that guarantees extraordinary powers. Social media often amplifies extreme claims, sudden wealth, instant confidence, or supernatural charisma after a certain number of days. These narratives may attract attention, but they can also create unrealistic expectations. When newcomers do not experience dramatic changes, they may become discouraged or skeptical. The truth is far more grounded. Real growth tends to be gradual and subtle. The benefits of discipline often appear in small but meaningful ways. Clearer thinking, stronger habits, greater patience, and improved self-respect. These qualities may not feel dramatic in the moment, but they compound over time and shape the direction of a person's life. Another overlooked aspect of this discipline is the emotional challenge it presents. When people begin retaining, they often experience waves of restlessness, temptation, or frustration. These feelings are not signs of failure. They are part of the training process. Just as a muscle grows stronger through resistance, self-control develops when a person faces and overcomes urges. Learning to sit with discomfort without immediately seeking relief is a powerful life skill. Many practitioners also notice that retention encourages them to become more intentional with their relationships. When sexuality is no longer driven by constant impulse, there is more space to appreciate deeper connections, communication, affection, and shared values. This shift can lead to more meaningful interactions rather than purely physical ones. Furthermore, semen retention can encourage men to rethink how they define masculinity. In many societies, masculinity is often associated with conquest, impulsiveness, or constant sexual activity. The discipline of retention challenges this narrative by emphasizing restraint, responsibility, and self-respect. It suggests that true strength may lie not in indulgence, but in mastery over one's own desires. From a psychological perspective, the practice may also strengthen identity and confidence. When a person sets a challenging commitment and keeps it, they build trust in themselves. Each day of discipline becomes evidence that they are capable of controlling their actions rather than being controlled by impulses. This self-trust can spill over into other areas of life, making it easier to pursue ambitious goals. However, it is essential to remember that semen retention alone does not define a person's character. A disciplined individual is not someone who merely avoids certain behaviors, but someone who actively builds a purposeful life. Retention should therefore be seen as one tool among many in the broader journey of personal development. For those who choose to practice it, success often depends on creating supportive habits. Physical exercise helps channel excess energy and reduce stress. Meditation or mindfulness practices can improve awareness of urges without reacting to them. Setting clear goals ensures that the discipline serves a meaningful direction rather than becoming an isolated challenge. Community and perspective are also important. Engaging with thoughtful discussions, reading balanced information, and maintaining realistic expectations can prevent the practice from becoming obsessive or extreme. Like any discipline, moderation and self-understanding are key. Ultimately, the deeper message of semen retention is about intentional living. In a world filled with constant stimulation and instant gratification, choosing restraint can be a powerful statement. It reflects a desire to live deliberately rather than reactively. Whether someone practices retention for a week, a month, or longer, the real lesson lies in learning that impulses do not have to dictate one's choices. Semen retention is not a magical shortcut to success or enlightenment. It is a discipline. And like all disciplines, its true reward is not found in mystical promises, but in the gradual strengthening of character. Through patience, self-control, and purposeful action, individuals can transform the practice into a tool for growth. The journey is not about perfection. There may be setbacks, doubts, and moments of temptation, but each attempt strengthens awareness and resilience. Over time, what begins as a simple challenge can evolve into a broader philosophy of self-mastery, one that values long-term purpose over momentary pleasure. In the end, the real power of semen retention lies not in the physical act of holding back, but in the mindset it encourages. It reminds individuals that they have the capacity to guide their own behavior, to channel their energy toward meaningful pursuits, and to build lives shaped by intention rather than impulse. That is the essence of discipline, the quiet, consistent effort to become the person you aspire to be. Join the Retain to Thrive Telegram channel at the link below, where we focus on building discipline, overcoming distractions, and achieving goals. Join the supportive community, sharing tips, motivation, and accountability. Let's grow together, one step at a time. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video.